The war has changed now. 3 villages have been liberated in Kherson Oblast. The armed forces of Ukraine continue to push forward in Kherson Oblast. Over the past 2 weeks, 3 villages have been liberated. Source: Oleksiy Hromov, Deputy Chief of the Main Operational Directorate of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, at a briefing on 28 July. Quote from Hromov: "Our military units and subunits continue the gradual liberation of Kherson Oblast from the occupation forces of the Russian Federation. Ivanivka and Lazov have been liberated over the past 2 weeks, and Andriivka was liberated this week." Background: earlier, RNBO Secretary Oleksiy Danilov said that the Russian Federation is moving more troops to the south of Ukraine, particularly to Kherson Oblast, but that Ukraine still aims to liberate the occupied territories. President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed that Ukraine struck the Antonivka road bridge in Kherson to deprive Russian forces of the opportunity to transfer their troops to Kherson Oblast. He stressed that Ukraine will liberate its territory using military, diplomatic and all other available tools until it reaches its legal borders. "De-occupation is inevitable," Zelensky taunts Putin as Ukraine edges closer to Kherson win. Volodymyr Zelensky has ridiculed Vladimir Putin through a piece of art that takes a dig at the Russian army as Ukraine moves closer to occupied Kherson. An image shared by the Defense of Ukraine on Twitter shows Ukraine troops moving over a Russian soldier while the other one screams in shock, the art philosophy of Norwegian artist Edvard Munch. Recently, Mr. Zelensky said that his forces are advancing step by step into the occupied southern region of Kherson. The Ukrainian president claimed that Russian military losses have climbed to nearly 40,000, adding that tens of thousands more were wounded and maimed. However, his claim could not be independently verified. Ukrainian attacks on a bridge in Kherson come as the bulk of the Russian forces are stuck in the fighting in Ukraine's eastern industrial heartland of Donbass, where they have made slow gains in the face of ferocious Ukrainian resistance. Kherson city fell to Russia early in the war and sits on a strategic location west of the Dnipro River. On Saturday, UK defense officials reported heavy fighting near Kherson. The Ukrainian advance meant that Russian supply lines west of the river were increasingly at risk, according to their assessment. While sharing the artwork on Twitter, the Defense of Ukraine tweeted, "The scream from Kherson. De-occupation is inevitable." Social media users praised the artistic work by the Ukrainian government depicting the clear situation at Kherson. A user, Victor Ward, tweeted, "Giving the screaming guy a hat with a red Soviet star is an inspired artistic touch." Another user, M.A. Rograps, tweeted, "I love Ukraine humor. The scream, rude occupation of Kherson style." A third user, Mike Grubman, tweeted, "Following the attack on the Kherson bridge, Ukraine trolls Russia by channeling Edvard Munch." Earlier this month, Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Andriivka urged Kherson residents to evacuate the city as soon as possible to avoid becoming trapped in the city during a counteroffensive in southern Ukraine. She told State TV, "It is necessary to do so for the armed forces of Ukraine not to endanger the civilian population during offensive operations." Russia captured Kherson with relatively little resistance early in the war, and the failure of Ukraine's Security Service, SBU, to destroy crossing points over the Dnipro before fleeing the city is believed to have led to Mr. Zelensky's dismissal of the agency's director Ivan Bakanov on Monday.